Hey everyone, my name is Ashley, and to those who know me, the one question I was always getting was why did I relocate to Charlotte from St. Louis? And everyone was just like, this was a big change. This was this was that. And the more and more I responded, I became robotic in that response. It was like, oh, I moved for my job. I moved for my job. That wasn't it. That wasn't it at all. The job was the catalyst, but really the reason for me to move was to save my life. Um, it was to save my life. Now, I'm a Taurus. We do not like change. Okay. We like to know where we at. I thought I had it mapped out. I had the retirement home. I was like, I'm gonna pay this off and whatever many years I had left. And literally, don't judge me on how I use my little roly thing. Okay. Don't judge me. Literally, everything I applied for, everything I applied for, turn down, turn away, rejection after rejection after rejection. Now, that's not to say that my resume is not impeccable. I have, 17 years plus of leadership experience. I have a master's degree in information technology management recently, a master's degree in business administration, and an undergrad in psychology. My resume, it ain't too shabby, I'm not sitting up here saying it's the best, but it ain't shabby. And I couldn't find anything in St. Louis. I feel like now looking back at it, it saved my life because I feel like God had to make me so uncomfortable, had to make the situation very unbearable because I could survive in anything. That's what we do. I was never put in a situation where it was fight or flight. My mind always made it that way. That's why I was diagnosed with anxiety. But anywho, but like I always knew when my next meal was coming. I always knew where I was gonna lay my head. And for the first time in my life, I was like, I don't have a clue about what's about to happen. Right. So I did get a job, but it definitely did not cover the bills. Okay. I had a mortgage, I had, credit cards, paid my car payment, stuff like that. The typical household bills, right? I had my doctor. I don't have kids. My dog is important. Okay. And she's intricate. She's an intricate piece in this relocation, by the way. But that'll come if, you want to hear more. But the reason why I moved was to save my life. To save my life. Let me paint a picture of this for you. Before I moved to Charlotte, I was in my house. Like I said, it's beautiful. I had it fully decorated. I had just finished decorating the whole house. I'm talking chandeliers, beautiful stuff, and furniture and rugs. I'm not girly like that. So for my house was laid out. Okay, I have to show y'all pictures. But I was depressed. And I'm not saying anything negative about St. Louis, but I was born and raised there. And I did travel. I've traveled to a lot of places. I've taken lots of trips. So I know what it's like to be outside of my zip code. But I don't know how to explain. It was this heavy. I felt so heavy spiritually, emotionally, physically, not so much because I had weight loss surgery. So I was on a weight loss journey to begin with. But I felt so limited. And again, it is nothing negative about St. Louis. I love my home and where I came from because I wouldn't be who I am had I not been raised in St. Louis, right? But I felt like the expectations of everybody else got real deep. And let me explain that. The expectations of everybody got harsh. I'm talking from not my family, my neighbors. You got to keep your grass cut. You need to get your house spray painted or spray washed and this, that, and the other. You need to get your garage. My house was not raggedy. You know what I'm saying? It was a very nice, well kept house in Blackjack. For people that's in St. Louis, they know the subdivisions or whatnot. But it was in North County and it was beautiful. I had a beautiful 3-bedroom, 3-bath, footage basement, beautiful brick home that was built in the 70s and it was gorgeous. And I had it pretty nice. I'm not gonna say it was like the Taj Mahal or something, but it was nice. And I just felt like everybody, like, It was weird. It was like, even my grandfather's voice. If I let my grass go too long, I'm like, oh my God, I know my grandfather's going to kill me. And he's gone. He passed away in '09, but he was a stickler about his grass. And I'm going somewhere with this. Just listen to me. So, my sister, okay, Tanera, one night out of nowhere, she starts telling me about North Carolina. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm depressed in my bed, kind of just mindlessly scrolling, talking to her, just sitting in my own, what do you want to call it? Stank, filth. I was clean, but like in my emotional stank, right? And we went on for like 4 hours of her on her iPad. She shared a screen with me. I believe that was the conversation. She was sharing screens with me. And we was just talking about she was sharing different TikToks, places to live, places to go eat, where to hang out, all these fun things. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm already depressed. You finna leave? You about to leave me too? Like, I can't deal with this right now. And um a few weeks later, I get a text. Hey, there's some interesting spots in Charlotte. You may want to take a look if you're interested in relocating. I'm like, what? And I text my sister, and I'm working downstairs for another bank, and I'm in their fraud department. Whole nother video on that. But and I'm like, sis, I just got asked if I was interested in moving, to guess, just guess where I'm thinking about where they want me to relocate to. She was like, where? I said, North Carolina. She said, you've got to be kidding me. So I'm thinking this whole time, I'm like, this can't be happening. So I applied for a position that I currently have now, interviewed, went through the whole HR process, and I got the role. It was over with. I started getting things together to move my entire life. I am so proud of myself because I'm usually the type of person that, like, I'll talk myself out of it because that's just too big of a jump. My family's here, my mom, my grandma, my aunt, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was just so many things. But I was like, nah, Ash, just go. I took the job. I immediately contacted real estate agents to get my house on the market. And y'all, let me tell you something. I don't know how I thought I was going to do this without the help of my village, because I did not have, at that point, I was done financially. I had no idea how I was going to do all that. And I was, I was feeling emotionally stuck. I felt like I got an opportunity to get out and I can't. But by the grace of God, He sent me angels to help me. But I also had to deal with a realtor from hell. And there was so much drama about me trying to move and people that wanted to help me move, but I got stolen from. I'm talking about, I'm missing bags that I just absolutely loved. I'm missing shoes, but it don't matter, y'all, because everything that I lost, I gained tenfold. I am so grateful. So I'll tell you I'll do another video about the do's and don'ts of relocating and dealing with the real estate agent. I'll tell you my horror story on that next. But let me tell you, baby, it was bad. They totally took advantage. And I just hate that because I was dealing with, I wanted to do black owned business and she took advantage. And again, I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to, maybe it was just a fluke with me. I don't want to talk bad about another, person's business, but it was bad. Whew, honey. So anywho, this was the most stressful thing I had to go through. But all of these little pieces saved my life. I had a moving company from hell. They stole from me too. They stole toiletries. They stole all types of stuff out of my what's your name. It wasn't that I mispacked. It wasn't that I didn't get it. It was things that were rummaged through, and it was a lot. And there was a lot of people in and out of the house because I was trying to sell it because my real estate agent wasn't doing anything about it. But anywho, so it was just a lot. But I knew I had to get out, and I eventually got everything packed up. Blah 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 blah. And I get my mom in the car with my dog, and we just started driving. I knew it was real then. And everything in me kept saying, stop, don't go, stop, don't go. And I just kept pushing forward. I was like, no, there's an end goal to this thing. Something better is going to happen. Something in my life is going to be great. And I don't know what it is, but I can't live in regret. And I came to my apartment sight unseen. Like I did a virtual tour, but I never came into it physically till I got down here with my mom. And as the night drew on, as we drove down here, I just became so like, I don't know. It was like I was excited. I was nervous, but it was the best thing I could have ever done. It was like driving down that highway. It was like a portal into my future. And I had no idea. But I shared this because I was depressed. I didn't know it. I didn't even know I was depressed. I was fiending for something new, something, to just give me life again because I just felt like, I'm in my hometown. I'm just going to stay here till I die. And that's just it. And no, my dog, I feel like is thriving here too. And she doesn't even have her big backyard anymore. Everything about this place, even though it's a lot of people down here and the traffic is where it's horrendous. Let's just put it that way. It's the best decision I ever made in my life because the people are so kind. And I found out how to be kind to myself. I really poured into loving myself because I couldn't just go up the street to my mama's house no more. I couldn't just go up the street to Tanera's house or to my sister's, wherever she's at, because she's big time flight attendant. She's big time. She's big wig. She's really doing great, by the way. But I couldn't just, I had to be with myself. And it was really weird because I've always been comfortable being alone, but I knew I recognized something. I was very proud of the progress that I made to heal from certain things that allowed me to be comfortable being by myself. Everything I had worked through, the divorce, the selling of the home, losing people that I love, everything at that point, it just, I was just proud of myself. I knew I had did the work because I could tell the story to my new therapist with a dry face. I'm not a victim anymore, I felt like I was taking the steps on the other side of this thing when I got down here. And, there's a lot of bumps on the road to getting down here. It was so bad, but it was so worth it. And I just want to thank my village for helping me with that process. Now, if you want to know more about the actual relocation process, let me know in the comments. But I would also like to know in the comments if any of you had to relocate and you thought it was for a job, but it was for something much greater. And what was that much greater? I'm Ashley. It was nice meeting you. Welcome to my channel. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you would like more content.